So 250 years ago, right now, the revolution was well underway. The American Revolution had been started. The Continental Congress was meeting in this building, Independence Hall. And one thing I've been doing every day is just checking letters that the Founding Fathers wrote back and forth to each other. So I figured I'd check today and see if I find anything interesting and share it with you. I've got my laptop right here. So I'm gonna be looking down and checking for letters. So today is June 16th. Let's begin with Washington's weather report. Cooler, wind easterly, and somewhat lowering. Yep, that's similar to today. Now, today there are many interesting letters. Abigail Adams to John Adams. Abigail Adams to James Bowdoin. These would be very interesting to read. I sat down to write to you on Monday, but really could not compose myself sufficiently. She was anxious. Then Mary Nicholson wrote to Abigail Adams. I hoped that long ere now to have been at Braintree, but every circumstance has hitherto been against me. And Braintree is up in Boston, I believe. But I think it best that today we read of the address to Continental Congress. So, let's begin with this. Address to the Continental Congress, 16th of June, 1775. Philadelphia. The President informed Colonel Washington that the Congress had yesterday unanimously made choice of him to be General and Commander-in-Chief of the American forces and requested he would accept that appointment, whereupon Colonel Washington, standing in his place, spake as follows. Mr. President, though I am truly sensible of the high honor done me in this appointment, yet I feel great distress from a consciousness that my abilities and military experience may not be equal to the extensive and important trust. However, as the Congress desire it, I will enter upon the momentous duty and exert every power I possess in their service and for the support of the glorious cause. I beg they will accept my most cordial thanks for this distinguished testimony of their approbation. But lest some unlucky event should happen unfavorable to my reputation, I beg it may be remembered by every gentleman in the room that I this day declare with the utmost sincerity, I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with. As to pay, sir, I beg leave to assure the Congress that as no pecuniary consideration could have tempted me to have accepted this arduous employment at the expense of my own domestic ease and happiness, I do not wish to make any profit from it. I will keep an exact account of my expenses, those I doubt not they will discharge, and that is all I desire. Now, there are some very interesting footnotes here. I think we'll just read the one. The only known account of Congress's debate on George Washington's appointment as Commander-in-Chief is given by John Adams in his autobiography. Speaking to the Committee of the Whole sometime before 15th of June, Adams moved that Congress adopt the army outside Boston and appoint a general to command it. He then added that though this was not the proper time to nominate a general, yet as I had reason to believe this was a point of greatest difficulty, I had no hesitation to declare that I had but one gentleman in mind for that important command, and that was a gentleman from Virginia who was among us and very well known to all of us, a gentleman whose skill and experience as an officer, whose independent fortune, great talents, and excellent universal character would command the approbation of all America and unite the cordial exertions of all the colonies better than any other person in the Union. Mr. Washington, who happened to sit near the door, as soon as he heard me allude to him, from his usual modesty, darted into the library room. The subject came under debate, and several gentlemen declared themselves against the appointment of Mr. Washington, not on account of any personal objection against him, but because the army was all from New England. Had a general of their own, Artemus Ward, appeared to be satisfied with him and had proved themselves able to imprison the British army in Boston, which was all they expected or desired at that time. Mr. Edmund Pendleton of Virginia and Mr. Roger Sherman of Connecticut were very explicit in declaring this opinion. Mr. Thomas Cushing and several others more faintly expressed their opposition and fears of discontent in the army and in New England. Mr. Robert Treat Paine, expressed a great opinion of General Ward and a strong friendship for him, having been his classmate at Harvard College, or at least his contemporary, but gave no opinion upon the question. The subject was postponed to a future day. In the meantime, pains were taken out of doors to obtain a unanimity, and the voices were generally so clearly in favor of Washington that the dissentient members were persuaded to withdraw their opposition, and Mr. Washington was nominated, I believe, by Mr. Thomas Johnson of Maryland, unanimously elected, and the army adopted. Here's another interesting footnote. Many years later, Dr. Benjamin Rush of Philadelphia wrote that shortly after George Washington was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Forces, I saw Patrick Henry at his lodgings, who told me that General Washington had been with him and informed him that he was unequal to the station in which his country had placed him, and then added with tears in his eyes, "Remember, Mr. Henry, what I now tell you. From the day I enter upon the command of the American armies, I date my fall and the ruin of my reputation." Finally, let's read this footnote. Immediately before selecting George Washington as Commander-in-Chief on 15th of June, Congress resolved that the general who commanded the Continental Forces have $500 per month for his pay and expenses. George Washington's refusal of any salary generally pleased the delegates. There is something charming to me in the conduct of Washington, John Adams wrote to Elbridge Gerry on 18th of June. A gentleman of one of the first fortunes upon the continent, leaving his delicious retirement, his family and friends, sacrificing his ease, and hazarding all in the cause of his country. His views are noble and disinterested. He declared when he had accepted the mighty trust that he would lay before us an exact account of his expenses and not accept a shilling for pay. Eliphalet Dyer of Connecticut was equally impressed with George Washington's character, but he expressed some concern about the cost of the general's anticipated expenses. "He is clever, and if anything too modest," Dyer observed in a letter of 17th June to Joseph Trumbull. "He seems discreet and virtuous. No harum-starum, ranting, swearing fellow, but sober, ready, and calm. His modesty will induce him, I dare say, to take and order every step with the best advice possible to be obtained in the army. His allowance for wages, for his staff, expenses, and everything is, we think, very high, not less than 150 shillings lawful per month, but it was urged that the largeness of his family, aide-de-camp, secretary, servants, and company, beside a constant table for more or less of his officers, daily expresses, dispatches, and company must be very expensive. So there you have it, folks. George Washington was given his commission to lead the army yesterday, and there's the account of how he accepted it, standing in his place and with great modesty and turning down any payment for his services. So if you liked this, please like and subscribe, and we'll be back with another one tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.